Welcome to Human Capital Readiness. I am Dr. Mario Wallace, the instructor for the lesson. Human capital readiness is the construct of making sure the people in the organization are aligned to the strategy, are developed in training to be able to execute performance within the strategic plan. To develop a human capital readiness strategy, you must first evaluate the strategy map for strategic competency opportunities. And we do this by evaluating strategic objectives related to the internal process. This is where all the activities take place in an organization to increase value for the customers and to achieve outcomes for the organization. The bottom of the strategy map is where readiness occurs. In other words, we must get the people ready in the organization to do the work. We must get the people ready, trained, and skilled to advance the strategy. A human capital readiness plan consists of strategic themes, strategic objectives, strategic job families, strategic competency profiles, number of people who will do the work, and a strategic readiness score. First, we must place the strategic objective in the strategic readiness plan. Here are the strategic objectives that we need to evaluate. We consider what skills, behaviors, and competencies are needed to achieve these objectives. We will be needed by the people in the organization to drive the strategic plan. The next thing we do is to address the strategic job families. We must align talent to each of these objectives. What groups of people in the organization will align HR planning with the institutional strategy? For this one, it will be organizational development. For the objective, provide proactive workforce solution, the talent groups are organizational development department, shared services, and human resources business partners. For the objective, ensure a strategy-focused workforce, shared services, and human resources business partners are the groups to support this objective. You must do this process all the way across. The next thing is to identify the skills, competencies, and behaviors to drive performance in the strategy. You must refer to the objective and the strategic job families to build out the skills, competencies, and behaviors to drive performance in the strategy. For example, the consultants in organizational department need to learn how to cascade objectives, create strategy maps, manage initiative portfolios, and build human capital readiness plans for the institution. It continues for each strategic job group. The next thing you do is to determine how many people need to do the work. So let me write some numbers: 35, 20, 15, 45, and 25. So, we have 35 people in organizational development who are responsible for this objective. Now, we must develop an assessment and assess their skills, competencies, and behavior to do the work. Here we need to do the same there for this objective. After we develop the assessment and administer it, we write the collective scores here in a percentage such as 10% here, 75% here, 45% here, 50% here, and 100% here. Basically, human capital readiness is a measure of liquidity to determine how fast it takes a company to get their talent ready to execute the strategy. Let's look at the first objective to the left. Here score is 10%, meaning that there is a huge performance gap that must be dealt with to prepare the organization develop consultants before they can advance the strategy. This one here is 75%, in which they can start working on the strategy. One of the main reasons why strategic plans fail is because leaders do not develop human capital readiness plans and never perform a human capital readiness assessment. Thank you for joining this human capital readiness course. Dr. Mario Wallace. Website, allthingsstrategic.org. Email, info@allthingsstrategic.org. This is a strategy map. Financials. Customers. Internal process. Talent and technology. Here are all the boxes on the objectives. Financial. Maximize return on human capital. Become the employer of choice. Contribute to stakeholder value. Minimize HR costs. Customers. Provided strategic support to business to attain their business goals. Increased organizational health and competitiveness. Ensure world-class skills, competencies, and leadership. Low-cost and premium price HR service provider. Internal process. Align HR planning with the institutional strategy. Provide proactive workforce solutions. Ensure a strategy-focused workforce. Manage and enhance a world-class leadership program. Optimize service delivery through streamlined processes. Talent and technology. Recruit, hire, and align talent to the institutional strategy. Build staff strategic competency and bench strength. Foster a high-performing and performance-based culture/climate. Use technology solutions to integrate the organization. Invest in leaders at all levels in HR who can mobilize the organization.